Hello there, and welcome back to some more End Times in Warhammer 2 as Archaon the Ever-Chosen and the Chaos Hordes. Now, we have an interesting situation here. We have not one, but two full Empire armies. Or, well, they're navies now, but they're going to disembark soon. With war wagons, great swords, a mortar, few Empire captains here, and an even larger force here of probably just swordsmen, spearmen and crossbows, and maybe archers, under Boris Todbringer. So here's the thing. I wanted initially to attack the Ice Drake Fjord, and I can definitely very, very easily take it out right now. The garrison is pretty small, and so is the army inside it under Wulfric. But I sort of want to let the Empire faction do what they want here, and then we'll see what happens. So instead, I'm just going to raid the capital of Wulfric for a turn and wait for the Empire to either move or disembark or whatever. Interesting. Now, whilst in the northern regions, the armies of the Empire suffer heavy attrition, and if they try and settle the Longship Graveyard, well, that would be an interesting move, because they've lost Erengrad and all of Kislev, apart from, well, Fort Yakova has also been taken by the goblins and orcs, so I suppose that technically is lost too, but I find it amusing that they're not going to try and retake Kislev, but oh well, basically. For now, though, I think we're going to fight. And we're going to fight with Lightning Strike, like so. And that'll kill off one enemy army. And then we're going to fight Wulfric the Wanderer. And this is going to be a proper battle. Essentially, we need to lose, because we have no idea what the Empire is going to do next turn. They might turn around and simply try and put an end to our entire Chaos adventure. Or they might run off in the polar opposite direction when they see that Ice Drake Fjord has also fallen. Either of the two is equally possible. So we do need to be a bit careful here. And we don't reserve to sort of campaign, but now, oddly enough, Ice Drake Fjord is not a custom settlement and is not well defended, so it doesn't have any wars whatsoever. So what's going to happen is we're simply going to fight in the middle of the open, like so, which is alright for me. No, apparently gambling never pays off in the long run, but oh well. Let's take a position, and here we really want to close the gap as soon as possible. we do also want to skirmish a little bit with these guys. And I will try and take on the Skin Wolves with the Chaos Knights. Now the Knights of Chaos are sort of like well, I think they're by far one of the most versatile units in the Chaos Army, at least right now. Though it doesn't exactly look like that as they charge into these wolves. They have basically good stats across the board, essentially, and they can fight damn near everything relatively well, and with their charge bonus, that is also a very relevant thing. So, moderately useful. Alright. Now we need to give some orders right here to make sure that everything is unfolding according to plan. That is one powerful... That is an insanely powerful magic to use right there. That is insanely powerful. No! Or maybe it'll go the other way. I could have probably cancelled it. See, now it goes the way I want it. Amusing. Alright, now Archeon is a decent enough fighter, I think, to take care of most of those at this level. But this is by no means an easy fight. Quite the opposite, actually. This is oh so difficult. Especially for the guys in the centre over here, it's going to be, well, actually even for Archeon himself. One of the Chaos Warriors is fleeing too. Yeah, he's never going to win against... What's that like? Is it Skin Wolves? Yeah, it's Skin Wolves, 2 heroes, and Wulfric. He's not going to win against that, I'm afraid. But we've won basically on all other fronts, so... This is kind of alright. Kind of. Being the operative word there. Interesting. They actually have Marauder champions too. That's not something I entirely expected, let's say. Yeah, and the idea was what exactly? To lose as few units as possible? Well, you tell me how that's going, because, you know, from my limited experience, this doesn't look all that great. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just imagining things and this is actually great. But it doesn't certainly at this point look like everything's gone according to plan. I mean, we will absolutely win the battle and probably not lose any unit doing so, but we will not be in a condition to fight the Empire for the next few turns, actually. The good thing is, though, the Empire takes a stupid amount of attrition from simply being in the north, and that will be their undoing, most likely. But to commit 2 full stacks in the middle of nowhere, in the Gulf of Kislev like that, it's actually a little bit west of the Gulf of Kislev, but nevertheless, like, to commit that much, yeah, a bit silly, in my modest opinion. Oh well, though, we didn't lose the Chaos Warriors here. They actually killed no one. This entire unit reacting on time and connecting all. In the very north of over there, that would be as that as well, but I like the entire deal with whatever kills doesn't seem like a lot, but it kills against Chosen of Chaos and oh boy, basically. Alright, we're going to awaken a tribe because we said we were gonna do that. Pretty much forever and ever. And both of the Empire armies are here. Now the good thing is, we can pull back far enough so that they won't be able to reach us. He attacked, I could very easily defeat them. Both those stacks. This is not what I'm trying to do. Right, that will help. And we don't have an exalted hero, do we? I think we have a mission to recruit one, but we don't have one. Yeah, we have a mission to recruit a lord. Raise or sack the following settlement. Yeah, we didn't do that. Raid Troll Fjords. These are all minor missions, though. We have a mission for the quest, the armor of Morkar, and we need to go back to Bessenling's camp for that. So I think that's exactly what I'm going to do, and let's get to it. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to skip up until that point. Oh, there is a third Empire army. Yeah. This is the Empire I know, alright. Oh, yeah. See, here's the genius thing behind my plan. I have a bit of a problem in that there are too many Chaos armies running around. I want to reduce the number of Chaos forces spawning all over the place. At least for now. And the Empire has so kindly sent Eckhard von Leibwitz, Karl Franz himself, and the legendary Boris Todbringer to fight all my Chaos minions. So I am more than pleased by this turn of events. And what I'm going to do is simply work on my tech and do my quest to go back home, essentially. And I will keep a close eye on how my minions are doing. Because I'm seriously hoping that together all the different Empire factions and stuff like that will be able to repel the Chaos invasion and essentially make it a little bit more challenging for me to continue. Or at the very least, grind each other out a little bit, so that when I do come back southwards, I can get resistance, but I won't be able to just steamroll everything with allied armies either. So those two sort of situations are ideal for me. But it does mean that I basically need to go across half the map again, which I think that's a good and a bad thing, to be perfectly honest with you. Because what that effectively means is I'm giving the entire world more time to get more tech and get better units. If the Empire could build mortars, steam tanks, and maybe some of their greatsword units, which will do all right against Chaos Chosen. They're still going to lose one-on-one, but they will do all right against Chaos Chosen. Then that will, I think that will go a long way to making things a lot more interesting. And we've researched the final level of tech as well. We can get demonic armor, which, again, every tiny little buff helps, but when you put all of it together, you could seriously end up with some ridiculously powerful units. So we have our tech and we have our objective, and I will see you when we reach Bear Sunling's camp. Alright then, so after a few turns, it seems to me like Karl Franz has been hitting the ale a little bit too much, if I'm honest. So Prague has oh so clearly been taken by the Skaven once again, and was that Volksgrad? I keep forgetting the name of that settlement. We'll get to it in a second. Wolfensburg has been besieged as well. So yeah, Volksgrad has also been besieged, which is mildly amusing. So what I'm going to do is the Vessel of Chaos attitude towards... Oh, this is towards... Yeah, and towards me it's... Well, it's deteriorating, but yeah. There we go. We're now at war with pretty much the entirety of the Empire, I think. But anyways. Knights of the Blazing Sun and a Hellstorm rocket battery. I knew I shouldn't have done that. I knew I should not have done that, but be that as it may, for better or worse, we have another unit of Chaos Chosen instead of Chaos Warriors, and come to think of it, actually, let's get rid of all of them, I think. No, we'll just get rid of those and get more chosen, because they are better in oh so many ways. But now, sort of more importantly, it is time to build either a mound of blades or we can't get an ogre gathering. Oof, well, we can, but we would need to wait. And -5 upkeep isn't that much. Alternatively, a shrine to Crone. Yeah, we're going to get a shrine to Crone because we need experience on our fighting. Well, is the most obvious by far and direct way of getting experience. Sort of passively trickling in experience bit by bit is helpful, and the movement speed increase is also very, very helpful. Oh, and they've colonized Wolfsgrad. Immediately did the Skaven. Alright, I will fight them as well. And I will declare war on them. I have no problems doing that whatsoever. Let's go with these two and attack Wolfsgrad. Skaven revealed, yes indeed, but declare war, and this ought to be ridiculously easy. Good. So after this, I'm actually going to attack here and take out Prague as well. Is this place... See, I'm not sure whether they have the Hell Pit as well. They might. They might have the Hell Pit too. But we can certainly check on our way back. Interestingly enough, though, the Empire has decided to colonize Norska rather than retake Kislev, which I'm not even going to pretend I understand, but it is what it is, I suppose. He's also quite angry. They're offering to join the war against the Empire. No, this makes no sense. Like, the Wood Elves don't hate the Empire that much. And there's no love for the Empire, but, I mean, come on. They would not... Ooh, amass 10,000 favour, yeah. Forgot I had that one. And that's because I didn't have that one. I literally just got it. Okay. Amusing enough. You actually retreated. That's a little bit weird. Oh, don't tell me I need to build siege equipment to attack Prague. Ugh, alright. I'll build your siege equipment. And I will... But the Reichland is quite powerful right now. They've confederated with Visenland or Weissenland, and I think another, or at least one more, maybe Averland? No, probably not. I think one more power in the south, but you know, even then, they're no match for what we have We have mustered against them here. And this was a fairly easy battle too. Looks like they do have the Hell Pit. Well, probably. They have defended Wolfensburg, interestingly enough, though, and the vast majority of the Chaos minions are for some reason in this area. Probably, if I had to guess, they're heading this way, but the Empire will not be able to keep these provinces here. Though the kind of good thing is that when they do get kicked out, they'll spawn all their forces back here, or they'll re-recruit all their forces down here, and they'll probably either defend the coast or try and push back into Kislev. Or maybe they'll try and colonize Norska again, but I highly doubt it. Simply due to the momentum, the armies from the north should come further down south at that point. So the ideal situation that I talked about didn't exactly happen, and now there's that issue, I suppose. But on the other hand, the Empire is now united a little bit more, and they've stopped most of the infighting, and they're actually relatively well organised, and as you can see, they're doing really well on the battlefield, or on the sort of grand scheme of things. Well, no, they're not doing really well on the grand scheme of things. They've lost Kislev, but they're doing well on, like, the individual battles, which I find interesting. Now they're offering me money in exchange for peace. Yeah, sure, you can have it. I do want them to recolonize most of Norska. And Hochland has now declared war on me, so yeah, there you go. Good. I like that this is happening. Clan Mold has been destroyed. I think that's good news for everyone except the Skaven. Because I genuinely do not know anyone who doesn't despise the Skaven. Like vampires, even vampires are less hated than Skaven. Because with vampiric corruption, there's less osmosis, and you sort of kind of know how it works. With this corruption, it's just annoying, and vampires can't build, like, secret settlements and all that, whereas the Skaven, thus spreading their filth all over the world, and it's just vile. It's just absolutely vile. But here we are, for, I think, the second to last artifact that we need. Not quite sure. Look at that, there's just like another army right there. 15 out of 20 just dropped in just like that. Oh well. Let's teleport to the fight. Wait, what? Oh, they're up there. Alright, got it. Because for a second there I was like, wait, successful? What? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. there, and I guess I'm gonna finally figure out what lies up there. Though I probably should explain myself a little bit, but I figure I'm gonna do that next time. And what I mean by explain myself is how I've never been up there if I've played with Chaos before. And I'll explain that next time. It's not all that interesting, but I suppose it is a story. Alright, so that's for next time. Until then, have fun, take care, and bye-bye.